Hey, what's up, my YouTube bookie crushers? How are you today, my friend? So today I'm happy to share 4 more MLB picks that I like in today's slate of game for August 26th, including a couple that have positive odds. And before we get started, I am happy to report that my son's baseball team won the semifinals by a 5-3 score yesterday, so they are headed to the finals tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. in their 11-team league. So it should be a tight contest. They are squaring off against a team that we recently beat 4-3 or 5-4 thanks to a 2-run home run in the bottom of the last inning. So it should be a fun and exciting contest. I will keep you posted on Thursday or Friday. Alright, so now let's get started with today's selections. And up first, I like the Tampa Bay Rays money line. I think they will pull off the upset in Cleveland today. The odds right now are around plus 105 or 2.05 in decimal format. Well, as you can tell, the Guardians are fading fast. In fact, they have dropped 6 games in a row, including getting hammered 9-0 yesterday against those same Rays. Junior Caminero belted a couple of home runs against his former club. Unwanted by Cleveland a couple of seasons ago, he reminded them of their mistake in letting him go. So I just told you about yesterday's hammering victory by the Rays, and that brings me to my famous blowout number 1 betting system that goes as follows. Its rules are very simple and yet quite effective. Oh, sorry, this is not the right. This is the blowout number 2, whereas today's selection fits under the blowout number 1. Well, I will tell you about it right now. It simply recommends betting any team that won its last match by a margin of 8 runs or more if they're facing the same opponent again. So clearly, Tampa fits under this description. And in case you are wondering, this betting strategy has posted a 69-60 record this season for a small positive profit. Now Shane Baz gets the nod for the Rays. He's had an inconsistent year for sure. He owns a poor 5.22 ERA. He was much better last season when he obtained a 3.06 ERA. So what the heck is going on with this guy? He got smashed by the Yankees in his last outing, but I believe this is a good bounce-back spot for him, playing against a team that has failed to score a single run in 28 straight innings, which is very, very shameful by Cleveland. Speaking of Cleveland, they will hand the ball to the rookie Parker Messick, who will make his second MLB start. His first one was a resounding success because he lasted 6 2/3 innings on the mound, allowing 7 hits and only 1 run in the process against the Diamondbacks. However, he's facing the Rays, who have put 26 runs on the board across their last 3 games overall, so their offense has been quite hot. It's also interesting to note how the Guardians have lost each of their last 4 matches as favorites. So let's make it 5 in a row, and I'm going to place a bet on the Rays money line. In fact, I have already placed my bet earlier this morning at plus 105 odds. Alright, my next selection qualifies under one of my favorite betting systems that is called the Big Upset number 1. Let's take a look at its rules. Bet any team that meets the following 3 criteria. They won their last game at odds that were bigger than plus 150. They're facing the same opponent again, and their money line today is smaller than plus 125 because, according to historical data, this system did not fare well if we backed moderate or big underdogs in the current situation. Alright, so let me share my screen to tell you which team fits. So if you take a look at yesterday's slate of game, you can tell right here that the Angels beat the Texas Rangers in Arlington at odds of plus 166. So those odds were bigger than plus 150 indeed. Now these two clubs are facing each other again, and today the Angels money line is smaller than plus 125. So for this reason, my second pick is the Angels to win straight up against the Texas Rangers, and this is a 4-star play, by the way. I like it quite a bit. So Patrick Corbin is the starter for Texas. He was one of the worst starting hurler in the big leagues for many years. Now it appeared like a change of scenery had worked out well for him following his acquisition by the Rangers. However, he is back to his old habits. In August, his ERA has been 11.48. More precisely, he has given up 17 runs in 13 1/3 innings and a massive 25 hits. He has almost allowed 2 hits per inning, which is abysmal. Also, the current Angels lineup owns a 361 batting average against Patrick Corbin in his career. On the other hand, the current Texas roster has obtained a 250 batting average against Yusei Kikuchi, who is the Angels starter for today. He has posted a solid 3.42 ERA, but I am worried about his quite high whip stat, which currently sits at 1.42, which indicates that there has been quite a bit of traffic on the bases when Kikuchi has been on the mound in 2025. It's also interesting to notice that Kikuchi is coming off a solid outing. He tossed 7 innings against the Reds, allowing just 1 run in the process. So hats off to Kikuchi for that good performance. Alright, let's take a very quick break to show you some footage from my 2 golden retrievers, Cooper and Fiji, having fun. Alright, selection number 3 will not look as exciting as the others because it has very short odds. I'm taking the Houston Astros money line against Colorado. And as you can see on your screen, the odds are the best odds I've seen about an hour ago were minus 325, which is the same as 1.31 in decimal. You can see a screenshot taken from BetMGM. Now, if you have been following me for this season, you know that I don't like to bet short odds, but I do it almost exclusively when the famous scoring drought betting system tells me to do it. This strategy started off red hot in 2025 and it has cooled off a little bit recently. But still, over the entire 2025 season, we have racked up 30 wins versus just 10 losses for a profit of 3.85 units, a 9.6% return on investment, which is quite good. And over many years, its ROI has been hovering between 10% and 20%, which is fantastic, and that's why I am following its betting recommendations, even though it often leads to big favorites. Now let's review the rules of this system in case you missed it in prior videos. Fade the road team if they lost their last 2 matches by scoring 2 runs or less in each of those losses, and if their money line today is greater than plus 150. Now in this situation, the Rockies are undergoing a 4-game losing slide, and in their last 2 games they scored 0 and 1 run respectively. And since their money line today is indeed a lot higher than plus 150 and they are on the road, we must fade them. Sorry. And that explains the Astros pick. By the way, these 2 teams faced each other in early July. Houston won the first 2 contests before losing the final game of the series. So they won't take them lightly, especially with Seattle being just 1.5 games behind Houston in the AL West division right now. The Astros have battled injuries all season long, but their troops are starting to return on the field. Pitchers Christian Javier and Lance McCullers have returned recently, and tonight the team will welcome back Yordan Alvarez, which should give the team a big boost. There is an incredibly huge gap between today's two starters, Hunter Brown and Tanner Gordon. One has a solid 2.36 ERA, while the other, Tanner Gordon, has a dreadful 7.11 ERA. What? Now granted, Gordon's last two trips to the mound were much better. He has squandered 4 runs in 11 innings against the Dodgers and the D-backs, which was not necessarily an easy task to handle. But still, I think the Astros are going to win this game, and we might have a little bit of value with this line, even though it has short odds. Alright, my fourth pick is also fits under the big upset number 1 system that I told you about earlier. Can you guess which team it is? So we're talking about a team that pulled off a big upset yesterday. They are facing the same opponent again, but today they are either favorites or small underdogs. Well, I don't know if you were able to guess, but the team in question is the Athletics. And this time I have decided to go for the first half money line, and I'll tell you why in the following few minutes. So I'm taking the Athletics first half money line at plus 100 odds right now. Alright, so yesterday the Athletics won the game despite a money line of around plus 190. They were facing Tarik Skubal, so obviously this was a difficult game, and yet they won 8-3, which was a fantastic win for the Ace. I think the Ace have a shot to lead through the first half of the game, especially with Charlie Morton getting the nod for the Tigers. His best days are clearly behind him. His slide began with the Braves, and then it continued with Baltimore and now with Detroit. His ERA during the 2025 campaign has slipped to over 5, and I don't expect him to do any better in the second half of the season given his age. Granted, Osvaldo Bido has not fared much better this season, but I still like the Ace to do well through the first 5 frames, and they might collapse later in the game because of their bad bullpen. So that's why I've decided to opt for the first half money line instead of the full game money line. So let me show you one more time the 4 selections for today. We have a couple at positive at positive odds, and of course we have the Astros, who are big favorites, who I believe still provide some value even though the odds are quite short. My gosh, sorry again. Alright, now it has been a while since I last updated you on my famous daily Lobster bet. Remember that the Lobster bet is the best wager across all sports on a daily basis. Every day I choose the one that I like the most and I share it with my subscribers. So let me share with you the performance. So we've had some ups and downs in August, but still so far we have obtained 15 wins versus 10 losses, and a person risking $100 has earned a profit of $233. Now you can see the recent picks. So for example, yesterday we took Jacob deGrom from the Rangers to obtain under 7.5 strikeouts. It was a tight victory because he finished the game with a total of 7 punch-outs. And the day before, we made a pick on a women US Open game and so on. And by the way, we have won the past 5 selections. The win or loss column is 1 if the bet was a winner, or 0 if it lost. So right now we have won the past 5 picks. And so we began this service, this unique service, on April 23rd. And so far we have accumulated 81 wins, 42 losses, and 2 ties. and I am tracking the performance depending on, well, not depending on, but by pretending as if we're risking $100 per play. And so far we have accumulated a profit of $2,600 approximately, for a return on investment which is close to plus 21%. And now the window is open to sign up for the September Lobster bets. I will give you the link in below in the comments, and here is the page where you're going to get in order to invest to boost your bankroll. And I have an early bird rebate for you, which is valid until tomorrow, August 27th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and that rebate will give you $30 off. So I can show you quickly how to redeem it. So you go to the page, you click add to cart. All right, then you click checkout. And now this is where you can enter the discount code, which is early09, all in capital letters, and you can verify that you entered the code appropriately by clicking apply, and you can see that you get $30 off. And again, remember that this rebate is only valid until tomorrow, Wednesday, August 27th, until 9 p.m. After that, the price will go back to its regular price. So to me, this is the best sports betting service on the market right now. So invest in your long-term success. And by the way, the NFL is coming back very soon. So we will have more possibilities to find great value wagers once the NFL starts back. And I'm really excited about the NFL coming back. So thanks for watching, Bookie Crushers. I appreciate you very much. Cheers, my friend.